Get a couple up there, thanks. This podcast is being brought to you today by Stamps.com. Never waste another minute of your life at the post office. Now, with just your home computer and printer, Stamps.com can do it all. Also, today's podcast is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Simply the best for all your .com registration needs, the most well-known because they're the most trusted. That's GoDaddy.com. And, of course, we're sponsored today by the terrific folks at Mangrate.com with their amazing grill enhancement system. Now you can have steakhouse quality in your own backyard with Mangrate. Roll the opening credits. You're not buffering. Apparently, you're still buffering. TriCaster problems? Oh, nice! What the hell's happening? We take a week off and the ship
3 years.
grinds onto the sand.
What episode is this? Like 150 or something?
I blame Danny Masterson. He left some bug behind. No, we took a week off. I hope you had a lovely, what was it, the first weekend in June?
June 1st.
Yeah, June 1st.
We had a show Memorial Day weekend.
Second?
Yeah.
What the hell day is it?
It was the 3rd. It was June 3rd, because
June
today's
3rd.
the 10th. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We were supposed to have Stephen Collins in here, and then something came up. I can't remember what it was, but damn it, welcome back.
Charity?
I just want to make sure they were asleep at the wheel. There it is. Good. The buffering's back. Wow.
Lord.
Okay, lose it again. It was the charity poker tournament that I had to do for the fabulous Bob Broder.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I've not played in that tournament every year for the last 3 years because of this.
Oh, see?
Why didn't you tell me?
Because I'm on the committee.
They could have my $300 too.
Yeah. Welcome back. I was in New York since I saw you last at the BEA, the Giant Book Expo. Every year, the biggest expo in the country is in New York in the first week in June. As you may have heard me mention a couple of times, although the publisher was quite clear, don't talk too much about it because it's the one solid push right before it comes out. So forget that it's called How I Slept My Way to the Middle and it's available on Amazon.com now. It's for pre-order. Forget I said that. They'd rather you wait. It'll be out in the fall. But it went phenomenal, and I was told I had one of the longest lines there. They had set up a thing. You wait, and you sign books to 200
It's not about the
people.
size of your line, Kevin. Everybody knows that.
It is about the size of your line. Where have you been?
It's about the quality of the book.
Oh, then I'm screwed. If it's about the quality of the book. But so then you sign the galley form of the books. Well, it's softback, not a hardback. And they're giving them away. And of course, as a Jew, it's killing me with everyone that I've signed, every free book that I say enjoy, and the person walks away with the book. We couldn't
That is odd.
get $5 for it. Nothing.
Because when you do those autograph shows, it's $50
Yes, when I tour
for
the
a color
country.
photo and a picture.
Right. Well, picture's an extra $250. The color photo itself. Yeah. But there are great people there, and Alliance Publishing did an amazing job looking after me, and I really had a great time. And I want to thank, of course, get ready for the name drop. Get ready. Bobby Flay and Smarch for putting me up at their fine home for 2 nights. There, I said it. Smarch. I didn't even see Bobby, by the way.
Wow.
I saw Smarch.
Well, it's Stephanie March, but
Oh,
I call her
sorry.
Smarch.
March weather.
Well, exactly.
That was really nice of them. We're going to see them again in 2 days because Jamie and I are winging back to Gotham for the Friars honoring Tom Cruise. I'll be wearing a tuxedo, which is never a good idea.
It fit. You tried it on this morning.
Yeah, I did try.
It still fit. You're like,
Shut
it still
up.
fit.
Shut up. Nobody's asking you.
Your tux from the 70s?
Actually, my tux from Cannes when we were there for the Middleman. And I thought, well, that's 2 years. I better try this damn thing on. And
been a
sure
good
enough,
year.
it fit. What does that tell you?
Nothing. Rapid weight loss is a terrible sign. As
Yeah.
you age.
Yeah, manorexic.
You are.
So I think I'm like only one of only 5 speakers at this thing. Again, I don't want to know who said no and wasn't available. I don't want to know how long that list was. All I know is I'm speaking, and I'm going to tell the Penn story, which our fans of this show are quite familiar with. It's also in the book. If you don't know what I'm talking about, get yourself a copy. You'll read all about it. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be Tuesday. And we're going to see some shows. We're going to see former guest and friend Rich Summer in Harvey. And we're trying to figure out where other show to go to, and we'll be back.
May I recommend Stump?
Nope. Although, what was the thing on Bob's Burgers?
Oh yeah, we were clapping.
Is Cats still
patty
playing?
cake.
Cake, it was
me.
cake.
Cake me.
Oh my gosh, I love Bob's Burgers.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Shout out Oklahoma.
Sammy loves a musical.
Oh, the best.
Speaking of musical,
It's not at all an outdated art form. Go on.
Jamie and I enjoyed the premiere thanks to Sam Brown, a regular at my Tuesday night poker game, he of the New Line family, for inviting us to the Rock of Ages premiere, where Tom Cruise, again,
He's pushing 50.
Jesus, man.
he's going to be 50 in 3 weeks, and it's absurd. It reeks of 3 hours at least every day for a year to get into this ridiculous shape. But more than that, because they do force his shirt off for most of the film, him playing this type of rock star, you get, I think, credit taken away. Paul Newman suffered from this. Brad Pitt has to work extra hard to get street cred as an actor. When you're too damn pretty, people take it less seriously when you turn in such a phenomenal performance. So kudos to everyone involved in the film, and not just Tom. The new kids on the block, the
Juliana
Diego,
Yes.
the Diego guy, and the Juliana, or Mrs.
Mrs. Seacrest.
Yeah, Mrs.
Seacrest.
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 He didn't believe me when I told him that.
Seacrest and out. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think he's used that one for a while.
Nope.
Nope.
No. All right, so I want to remind everybody and thank them, of course, for looking after us on Twitter. You've now, as fans of the show, forced several guests onto this table. Today's might be one of them. I think we may have reached out through the Twitter initially. I think this all started with a DM. We'll talk more about it in a minute. But you've booked several guests on this show through Twitter by yelling at celebrities like our very first one, LeVar Burton, and most recently, of course, David Copperfield. Just write to your favorite celeb at their name or whatever and ask them why they haven't been on the chat show yet. We can't thank you enough for being our foot soldiers and looking after us, and by going after your favorite famous fucker. That's how I like to call it. The 3 F's of the chat show. Don't forget to include a clickable link, you son of a bitch, so that they know how to look us up. Jamie, sad news for you. Tonight
I know.
is the season finale
Of Mad Men. What am I going to do for a year? Oh, well, I got Breaking Bad coming up
Yeah,
in
you do.
like 5 weeks. I'll be
July
okay.
15th.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited. I mean,
Last week.
Oh,
well,
Whoa!
don't.
Oh,
Just don't.
are you not caught up?
I'm caught up, but
But
I don't
there-
want to. I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
We can't talk about it yet. Well, Jamie, you've got your big wrap-up show on the 18th.
yes. Well, they're still doing one tomorrow, but I
course.
will not be around. But yes, the 18th.
The big
we're gonna do,
wrap-up
like-
show for This Week in Mad Men.
Yes.
Tune in live 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
Yes.
And then catch it on the iTunes the next day or so. This Week in Mad Men. On Mondays, only 2 more to go there. But yeah, can you stand it? It's going to be...
It's gonna be sad. It's very bittersweet. Like I want to see, I want to see where they're going with everything, but I don't want it to be over.
No. Sammy,
Yeah, buddy.
you okay?
Well, tonight's also the season finale of Veep.
I was going to get to that one.
No, I know.
To our guest, but
Oh,
thank
I'm
you.
aware.
Thank you in case I hadn't had it in the
No,
document.
no, I'm sure you had it in there, but we're talking about what Jamie's going to miss on TV.
Right.
I'm going to miss the new duo of HBO comedies, Veep and Girls.
Yeah. Are you enjoying Girls?
I am.
Yeah, because it's written for you.
It is.
In a weird
It is.
way.
I'm a young hipster
Yeah.
from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Why not? I was talking to Judd Apatow recently about it, and I asked him straight up, is Lena Dunham trying to outdo Jason Segel in the uncomfortable nudity department?
And?
I believe she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
There's some sexy stuff going on in that show.
That's not the right word for it. There's
You're
some
right.
naked stuff going on in that show.
There's some...
Not much of it is very sexy.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the opposite of sexy.
It is.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Anti-sexy.
Yeah. I didn't need to see
No.
my former almost television mother, Becky Ann Baker, getting railed in the shower
You didn't?
by Peter Scolari. Did
You
not
didn't?
need to see that.
Huh.
Did not expect it.
Huh.
It took me by surprise.
But Peter Scolari's a tush.
And some D&B. We got some good D&B action, yeah.
Oh, what's the matter with these people?
I don't know.
I don't understand it. I know it's the new 70s Bush, but...
Male nudity, man, it is the gold standard in comedy now.
I mean, our friend Joe Latrulio got off easy with that crazy fake prosthetic.
Honest
That's
to
the
God.
way to go.
That's
Go
the way to
prosthetic.
go.
Why would you...
Yeah.
Did they think DVDs are going to burn up the way that the old celluloid used to? I mean, what's the matter with these people? All right. And everyone's looking forward to the season finale of The Killing also.
Isn't it a 2-hour finale? Too,
I'm sure it is.
Ridiculous?
I'll be watching it. I can't. I mock it and then I watch it. Also, thank you all very much for the reviews that you've been recently writing on the iTunes for this show as well as Talkin' Walkin'. Wow. I wonder if it's possible to get our guest today to do a Talking Walking also. At some other time, of course. But keep writing those reviews, and we're going to do a new episode, I guess a week from Monday, with my friend Nick Searcy, and then I will pester our guest today about possibly doing one of those. But we're incredibly lucky to have him, so I don't want to put this off any further, but I do know that we have an Ask Kevin.
Ask Kevin.
Look, there's a graphic for people who watch. I want to thank all 72 of you, by the way, who watch the show and refuse to just listen. I've watched a couple episodes now out of the 149 that we have. Not bad. I'm going to go not bad.
Is it like your future career?
Yeah. I was telling our guests that I after doing the show for like a year, I realized I hadn't watched any episodes because it's too painful. And so then I decided to load a bunch onto my computer and bring them on a plane. And I'm about 3 minutes in, I'm going, what's the matter with me? I'm watching myself on a plane. And then I just committed fully and started masturbating. Yeah.
Thank you, American Airlines.
This Ask Kevin is from American Airlines saying, please don't come back. Now this is from Mark Wiesner or Weisner, depending on what side of the Mississippi you're from, and he's writing us from Japan. Greetings to Kevin, Jamie spelled correctly, and Sam not spelled correctly, from Japan, from a Brit with a German name, Mark Wiesner, I'm going to say now. Here, I've always been a fan of Kevin Pollak, suddenly misspelled. And being a Brit working in Japan, I haven't been getting enough of a fix of his work recently. A seasonal peek at Kevin, underused as Cupid in the Santa Claus 3 on Japanese TV at Christmas, was as near as I got, you poor son of a bitch. Imagine my delight when I discovered the Kevin Pollak chat show, again misspelled. The first show I watched was with Peter Weller, so much more than just a cop robot. A fascinating man with strong opinions, and what a life he has led. Yes, indeed. We're halfway through. Anybody? I had to agree with his views on academics, too, being surrounded by dull, stuffy professors of all nationalities at the universities I teach here. Kevin's questions are always spot on. The dossier is brimming with fine research. Hey, shout out to JMac. And you can tell he is actually listening to the answers. I listen to the shows now on my iPod. Oh, so this functions also as how you do the chat show, which remember to write to us at contact@kevinpollakschatshow.com. Let us know how you do the show. We'd love to hear from you. He goes on. I listen to the shows on my iPod on the way to work in the crowded trains of Osaka and Kyoto. There's no other way to say that, because listen, if the Hispanic weather people can suddenly have an accent when they say their own name, why couldn't? All right. As there is no
Vega. I'm sorry.
Right.
Just
It's going to be partly cloudy out there. There's no room to watch a screen without some annoying commuter's head in the way, and it burns up the battery too quick when on the move. Okay. Highlights for me are Titus Welliver's walk-in story and the 4 ages of Al Pacino. All of the John Landis show. Wow. This is like a 9-page review. That man has a love of life. I bet he could come back and do 3 or 4 times. He has the longest, I think, the record, just under 3 hours, and never repeated a story. And the episode where Kevin ad-libs a new story in some of his best voices was uncanny. Being a fan of Albert Brooks, I wonder what Kevin thought of his performance in the classic movie Drive. The classic movie Drive? I love the film. I'm not sure it's a classic already. I thought he was superb as a troubled gangster, and Brian Cranston. Another great episode.
Is this all the same email?
I fell asleep like twice already.
It's not the same day, let alone not the same email. We're now talking.
Were all 148 episodes leading up to this email?
We're now talking with Dan Harmon of Community,
Oh my God.
and it's Father's Day. Keep going, Kenny. Just keep going. I'm going to skip the last part. Yeah. Also, as a limey, I feel ashamed of smug Pierce Morgan getting the Larry King gig. How do you feel about his talents and persona? Would you have liked to have been hired for that job? One more question. Really? Which of the British character actors do you like and admire? I attempted to put a glowing review on iTunes and hope it was accepted. Keep up the wonderful work. Best wishes, Mark Wiesner. Please write to us at contact Kevin Pollak's Chat Show and keep it under 16 paragraphs if possible. That's contact@kevinpollakschatshow.com. Thank you, Mark Wiesner. I can't answer any of your questions because you took all the time. So I will simply go with the regular response to all of our wonderful fans. Go fuck yourself. All right, so we have your questions coming in. Feel free to write them in. We have some already on the Twitter at Kevin Pollak or into the chat show room, where Jamie's going to throw them up here on the screen. And now it's time to introduce our guest, which I'm very excited. Longtime fan. Jamie and I became a little obsessed while watching Arrested Development with the wonderful character of Buster, whose real first name, the character's real first name is. So,
I did just
this is
look this
unfair.
up, too.
He became Buster.
It starts with a B, too.
Yes, it does.
Byron or something.
Very nice
Byron.
poll.
Thank you.
It is Byron Buster. And now doing incredible work on Veep. Please welcome Mr. Tony Hale, as he's known on Twitter.
Thank you.
Wowzy wow wow. It was on Twitter that is why this happened. No? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Because I followed you, and then you followed me.
Right.
I'm still learning about Twitter.
Right.
And then I think there was a direct message sent about this.
So this wasn't a case where fans were yelling at you, why aren't you on the show? As much as I just suddenly realized you were there and then DM'd you saying, hey.
I guess, yeah.
I think I might have plugged Veep saying you were doing great work.
You did, yeah.
You
and
wrote
you're right.
thank you.
And I replied thank you.
Now
that's exactly right. That's
I
exactly
really
right.
do think, when someone becomes known for a television character, it can be difficult to be seen in any other light for many years. And maybe it seems like Arrested Development was only a few years ago that it ended, but it was on in 04, 05, and then a little bit of 06 or something like that.
Yeah.
I just know that you guys were nominated for the SAG award for Best Ensemble in 04 and 05. So I was kind of figuring the math there.
I think
but that would have been 03, 04, 05, I think.
I think it finished in 2005.
Right.
I think it did, yeah.
Or so it thought.
That's what I thought.
Hello, Netflix.
Yeah.
How excited are you? And according to the dossier, you don't want to know what's in store because reading the scripts is so fantastic. It's surprising.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I get a rush from is because what comes out of Mitch Hurwitz's head, who is the creator of Arrested, is nuts. And, what happened for 2 years in the life of my character, my hand was bitten off by a seal and I dated Liza Minnelli and all these awesome things.
I believe you made out a little.
We did. It was awesome.
She took you and your wife to dinner.
She did.
I need to know
Good dossier.
a couple of the details from that dinner.
Yeah.
Just a little
sure.
something.
Got him.
Okay.
Do you want me to go into that?
No, whatever.
But she, anyway, she was fantastic, and I'll fill you in on those. But
so reading the script every week is just got to be.
I remember thinking I have no clue. There's a part of me that wanted to kind of know where this was going to go.
Right.
But for the most part, your mind can't even get around where it's going to go. So I like the surprise, and so I really don't want to have any idea as to what is going to happen with these Netflix episodes.
Right.
So I'm excited about it.
You're probably going to start shooting fairly soon, though, because they're threatening to be out in 13.
Yeah.
The
I
year
gotta
of
say, I love that
13.
there's a table here because I never know what to do with my hands during an interview.
Now you know. You just do this.
I know. I can just do this.
We could be like some of our crazier guests, keep them under the table.
Yeah.
That reminds me, we should, Josh, in the outer hall of the space shuttle, if you want to cut together a reel of people smacking the table, because it is something I've noticed these last 3.5 years. There have been certain guests who couldn't speak without smacking the table every 19 seconds.
And our audio only listeners, they love
That's
that.
fun.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be careful about that.
No, but I like the hands on the table.
Thank you. I do too, and it's just it's relaxing. It's a sense of control.
Right.
I like it.
I should put little pads
Actually, I'm just gonna
so
try.
people don't get
It's a sign of trust.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Exactly, Sam.
comfort.
Yeah. I feel very comforted and very safe.
So how nice to be surprised every week. Oh my God, I'm losing my arm this week.
Yeah, and that genuinely, it was both freaky and exciting because when he told me initially, I think initially it was going to be the whole arm.
From the shoulder.
Yeah. And I didn't know it was going to be a seal. I mean, I knew it was going to be some kind of bite. And I was like, oh, damn, I like to use my arms in I'm pretty expressive.
And you like to put them on tables.
And I like to put them on tables. I like the control. But then just when he started talking about the possibilities and, I was like thrilled.
Right.
But initially, you're kind of like, oh, what's that going to be like?
And for the people who love the behind-the-scenes stuff, how do they just strap it down behind you?
It was only up to here, so I just put on a prosthetic, a hook. I had a hook, and then I had like a prosthetic hand.
Right.
And they had to extend my sleeves way past so it looked like it looked right.
Yeah, that's right. This move is only when you lose it from the shoulder.
When you lose it from the shoulder, yeah.
They say we're going to start at the rotator cuff.
Yeah.
And everything else,
Okay.
everything else goes. No, that's right. That awful hook. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. And bless his heart, I love that he loved to give massages, and he didn't realize that a hook was going to, hurt people. And
I did love also the phantom aspect to his missing appendage.
Yeah. He had a lot of that.
That he thought it was okay to gingerly touch something and then break it.
Yep. And I think it was like right when it came off, he just was not knowing that it was off, and then he had a moment of everything. Then he started destroying the living room and ripping the curtains, and he had some built-up anger in his body.
Also, according to the dossier, perhaps or arguably
I
one of
love that word. Isn't that?
Sure,
That's a nice word.
I don't overuse it at all. But it seemed like someone mumbled something.
I hope that was
just
caught
now.
on audio.
Your mic is on if you want it to be.
I muted it.
Oh,
for that.
Did you show Sam your ring, by the way?
Oh no! What?
Is this a ring you gave her?
Come out!
That's amazing.
No, this ring was given to me when I joined the Stonecutters, and they also assigned me a number based on the order in which I joined.
Yes.
So what number are
If
you?
you're a Simpsons fan or not, the organization, the Stonecutters. Yeah. So our friends over at the Good Art Hollywood make Stonecutters rings now.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
So
now
first I have
Jamie
to have
has
one.
one. We
Oh,
buried the
that's
lead.
nice.
We should have brought that up before. I'm sorry.
Do you know,
I was trying to put it
we have
on
something
you.
in common, Jamie. My daughter, who's 6 years old, put a sticker of Snow White on my computer, and to my surprise, and to tear it off now, it would just look like kind of mangled. So I keep it on, but I like it on. Yours is much fancier because she's holding the apple. Mine, the sticker is just over the apple, and it looks like the apple's coming out of her heart, like E.T.
But that's kind of cool too, by the way.
Yeah.
You're 6 months old.
Six years. No,
So,
she's
of course.
6. Yeah.
Yeah, it would make no sense if you were
She was
6
6
months.
months.
Well, what's worse, that a 6-year-old put it on his, or that I'm 30 and I have it
No,
on
I
mine?
like it.
that's
I
you know.
admire that.
I think there's been several people, Zach Levi, for example.
And the placement of it, I think, is very
Right?
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so let's go to Liza's going to, honey, Liza wants to take us out to dinner. How was
Yeah.
that conversation?
Okay, so
Because it's surreal as show business
it's
gets.
so surreal. And here's the deal: when you first, keep in mind, this was I'd done mainly commercials after this, so this was my very first TV gig.
Series regular.
where I was a
You've
series
done guest
regular. Exactly.
stars,
I'd done little guest stars in New York, but this is my big series regular. So
I think there was something about Pamela Anderson.
oh, that was after.
After.
That was after.
Even
I
better.
did
Then
a
it was
guest
fun.
spot. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so I was on the show, and Mitch comes out to me and he says, "You're gonna have a love interest." And I'm thinking, "Oh, I've got a love interest," and then I come to find out it's Liza Minnelli. So that alone, takes the cake. And it could go, when you're dealing with that kind of an icon, it could go several directions. You could have a real difficult person, or you could have someone like who she was, which was incredibly gracious, so kind. When she would tell stories, it wasn't coming from a place of ego, it was coming from a place of like, listen to my life.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so it was just...
Which is a gift.
Which is a gift.
Yeah, and a talent. Because when I try to tell stories about Tom Cruise, I try not to seem...
But it comes off so egotistical.
Right?
Yeah. No,
and
it doesn't at all.
narcissistic
No,
and horrible.
No, not at all. But she is, she was fantastic. Well, anyways, one day we were sitting in the makeup trailer, and we were talking about something, and she offered to just spend the day with my wife and I. And somehow organically came up that we went out to lunch later. And it was, the wild thing is, we pick her up. I had my crappy car at the time. I still have a crappy car, but I had not a great car. And she insisted on sitting in the back seat of my car.
Oh no!
Immediately start chain smoking. So it was me and my wife, and she's in the back seat.
Chain smoking.
And just rolls down the window, just starts lighting up.
Both hands. I like the visual of that.
So, and we had just met, so we're still kind of getting to know each other.
Sure.
And she starts talking about this concert that she had just done at Radio City Music Hall. And I don't really know her music, and I said, so, what kind of, music did... And I've told this story a lot of times, so I apologize if anybody's
Well, no,
heard
I've
this
not
twice.
heard this story, and I can't believe you had to say that to Liza Minnelli. What kind of music did you do?
So, well, I knew that she was obviously, iconic singer, but I didn't really know a lot of her songs, so I didn't say it rudely, like, I don't know your music, but I was just kind of like, oh, so what songs did you sing? Like,
so you didn't know that she might sing New York?
Yeah, I did know that.
Okay.
But I was kind of maybe asking what her set list was
Oh, cool.
that she sang at Carnegie Hall. And she said this, and then she said, I sang Liza with a Z. And I said, I don't know that. I don't know that song. So she, in turn, starts breaking out in the song in the backseat of my car.
While smoking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best part was she had done it so many times that she could hear the orchestration. So she'd be in the backseat of my car while I'm driving, and she's like, Liza with a Z. Ba-da-ba-ba-bam! All in the backseat of my car.
So was you getting this view?
Yeah. And my wife and I are just up front, just like, you're trying to encapsulate this moment, and you just can't even
You want to be present for it.
I want to be present for it. But anyways, she was just awesome. And she took us out to lunch, and as I said, told us these amazing stories about how she loved her mom, and this one story, it was her mom, and Vivian Lee in London, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
And just... She's just a really fantastic lady who's lived a very colorful life.
Oh gosh.
And just loves, is excited to tell the stories.
Right.
Because I'm was raised in the suburbs, and I don't know this life, and she was pretty much raised on the MGM lot.
Wow.
So the whole time you're just like, please don't stop talking.
Yes, exactly.
Just keep talking. I don't want to say a word.
Yes, because she could write 300 books.
Oh, yeah. And, she's also had a lot of experiences in her life that could turn her very bitter.
Absolutely.
And
oh,
she's
gosh,
not.
yes.
She's not at all. Like, she makes the choice to be full of life. And, I'm hoping she comes back for the Netflix comes, because I want that relationship to continue.
It has to.
Yeah.
There should be a email writing campaign immediately.
I'm
this
really
moment, it should
hoping.
begin. West Point, New York.
Yeah.
Young Actors Theater in Tallahassee, Florida.
Yeah.
And also, you're now my favorite. I thought it was Zach Levi, but you're now my favorite non-Jew looking.
Yes.
Jew looking non-Jew.
Yeah. So, how annoying is that to be asked?
He has that too? He looks...
Hang on.
It's just the name,
How
Zach.
many Jews do you know named
okay.
Tony?
It's just you're right. You're not wrong about that. But I'm just saying when Jeffrey Tambor, which is not a terribly Jewish sounding name either, and you know what I mean? I see I see a similarity there more so than how the hell Pretty Boy, who's Jamie refers to as the sunshine, because you can't look directly in the eyes without being blinded by his gorgeousness.
Jason, you're talking about Jason Bateman?
Right?
I thought you were talking about Will Arnett.
And then I
think he's the most
realized
handsome man in
that
the
Will
world.
Arnett is actually, it's the three phases
Yeah, yeah.
of man.
Yeah,
You
when they were casting, I'm sure there was a little bit like, he doesn't really look like Jason, but he looks like Jeffrey Tambor. He's got the receding, he's got the baldness, you know?
And there's something in the eyes, there's a similar twinkle, and then Arnett is kind of like between the two.
Yeah.
So from New York to Tallahassee, Florida, that's slightly, because were you raised in the city or still
No, sorry,
up
I was
the
raised in
suburbs?
Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh.
Well,
Sure, if you're going to do the Young Actors Theater, you can't go there at 30 and start the Young Actors
Yeah,
Theater.
that'd be creepy.
So how old were you when the family moved south?
My dad I was born in West Point because my dad taught at West Point. He taught nuclear physics at West Point. Yeah, he was a very smart guy.
Did he rub it in your face at all?
Yeah, and he fathered an actor.
Couldn't have been more proud. Nuclear physics.
Nuclear physics. He's an incredibly intelligent guy.
Oh my!
And he taught at West Point, and I was born there. And then he was in the Army, and so we moved around a lot. I lived in Germany when I was from 5 to 10. Lived in Germany. And then we moved to, this is my memory, and then we moved to Fairfax, and then we moved to Tallahassee, Florida in the 7th grade.
5 to 10 in Germany.
Yes.
Not a prison sentence. This is actually part of your life.
Yeah.
What part of Germany?
Berlin, first Heidelberg, then Berlin.
And
first Berlin, then Heidelberg.
So at what age, because at 5, can you appreciate?
No. No, we lived on an American base, and all I cared about was where the next pool was. That's all I cared about.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, but also, I don't know, my brother has the same thing. I don't really remember that much, like 6th grade down. I mean, I might have been because we moved around a lot, or it was, I just don't, and there was no trauma or anything like that I know
My
of.
brother and I have had these conversations too, and I would say, do you remember sitting around the dining room table as kids? And he'd say, no. I'd say, all right. And is it because I would ask my brother, we smoked pot every day in the 70s? Was that the reason? Nope. We just, and then I find this more and more to be a phenomenon. I'm not sure at what age it happens. Sam, Jamie, you're in the realm of 30. What, do you remember being 5 years old sitting around the dinner table with your family?
I do. You're on your own. I have a freakish memory.
We never sat down and had dinner unless it was like some special occasion. Like nobody was ever around at the same time.
But there are memories of being 6 years old.
Yes.
See, yeah.
And
Most
you
of
don't
mine
have
are-
that.
No, I don't. They're
I
gone.
don't have that either.
They're gone.
Yeah,
So I
me
wonder
too.
what age it is.
They're me and Max eating fish sticks, watching The Muppet Show. That's 5, 6 years old.
And you pretty much always have had that. Like you can remember when something tells you, or when you're at something, you have a locked memory
I'm
for it.
one step shy of Mary Lou Henner.
I was just going to say Mary Lou Henner.
I think that is fascinating.
It is
I
fascinating.
really do.
Yeah. And I wish there was something you could do with it.
If only. If only.
Instead of always being off book. Because that's not enough,
Instead of
Sammy.
always being the actor all the other actors hate.
Yes.
Is that true too? Like you
Yeah, I memorize all
can know, is it the kind of thing that you don't have to spend a lot of time with it? You just absorb it immediately?
Yeah, I usually read
Wow.
it once or twice and I'm off book.
I've got not so great news possibly for Sam. My memorization skills with memorizing material for acting is at such a level, this is just a freak nature thing, I'm not bragging about anything, but I don't look at the pages until I'm in the makeup chair because I need somehow for it to be fresh.
Fresh, yeah.
And I'll look at it the night before to know what the next day's work is,
yeah.
but I won't go to that place of attempting to memorize until I'm in the makeup chair, and then it actually feels alive. Because if I go the night before,
it gets mechanical.
it becomes ridiculous.
Now, has that been in time? Because starting out, would that have produced anxiety if you didn't spend the time?
I always had
You've always had
these
that.
weird, weird version of photographic memory, but only from script pages. Because in school, I guess it's all about interest.
Yeah.
It's a level of interest.
Yeah.
In school, I could not remember a book I read the night before for the test quiz the next day.
Yeah.
Gone. Couldn't have been more bored, I suppose. What about you as you're traveling from country to country? How is school registering for you. I mean, talk about not following in your father's footsteps for work and business, but how were you academically?
Don't remember.
Next question, please. Let's go to the.
I think I was a good student. You know, from what from 7th grade in Tallahassee, where I kind of stayed in one place, I have a better memory. And I think I was an average student. I wasn't.
Are you bringing home B's? Are you bringing home C's?
Well, everybody knows you have to have straight A's to be an actor.
Yeah, exactly.
The smartest people on the planet.
That's right.
I really think the class that made the biggest impact on me in high school was typing.
Well,
Yeah.
thankfully now.
Yeah, exactly. Because
everything is about.
everything else I tend obviously have forgotten,
Yeah.
but learning the keys, like I have never forgotten that.
I have to agree. And for me, it was one of those, take typing because it's an easy A.
Yeah, but
And
that
what
stuck
happened
with
was
me.
we actually learned to type.
Oh, yeah, and never
Wildly.
forgot it. And
Although
then
I don't remember anyone saying QWERTY.
What?
I don't remember anyone saying QWERTY when teaching the typing.
Oh yeah.
QWERTY
yeah.
spells out the...
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Right?
yes,
And then
yes.
suddenly it's, you got the QWERTY?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I remember going to college and there were students that were, and I had it because of that one class.
Yeah, and you can also play the piano beautifully.
Yeah, it's a really great transition.
Yes. If they just put QWERTY on the piano keys, I think I could spell out my
And I
name.
do remember my typing teacher in high school was quite a large woman, and she would stand above our keys, and the sweat from her face would drop on the keys.
No.
Yeah, remember that? No. Yeah, and it would just drop, right? And she would be looming over, and it would just hit the keys,
Was
and
that
sometimes
when
the fingers.
Is that when you became addicted to hand sanitizer at that very moment? Hello, Mrs. Anderson.
1 second.
Wow. So tell me about studying acting at the, is it Barrow Group?
Barrow Group.
Barrow Group.
Yeah. You mentioned Young Actors Theater.
Yeah.
When I was
In Tallahassee.
In Tallahassee, and I think, my brother was very much into soccer,
Right.
and I was not into sports.
Was it the running around that bothered you?
Yeah, I was asthmatic. I was the kid on the corner. They're just like, can't do it, not doing it. So he was very into sports, and my parents just kind of knew that I was probably a bit of a spaz and didn't really know where to channel that. And there was this great theater company called Young Actors Theater in Tallahassee that to me, was very much my childhood. Like it was a really huge part of growing up.
Right.
And then I went to college in Alabama, and I didn't really know if I wanted to pursue acting, so I studied journalism. And then it was after college that I studied a little bit in grad school, and then I went to New York and met the Barrow Group.
What was it about journalism that struck your interest?
I don't know. I think, honestly, to be completely candid, I heard the journalism mass communications part about it, and I was like, I like people. I like large amounts of people.
I like talking.
I like talking.
I like mass communicating.
So I was kind of gravitated towards that.
Jamie, any connection there with your interest in the journalism, the mass communicating?
No, that's what I majored in as well.
Yeah.
And the
That's why I asked.
advertising, I like the advertising section of it too, where it was really creative and coming up with slogans and stuff.
Uh-huh. And your best slogan you came up with, of course,
Don't
is...
remember.
Nope.
No clue.
Gone.
Don't tap into that.
Don't be silly. I don't have to do it on camera.
Please, at least we have a bond that we understand each other.
Good to the last drop.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was a beer commercial.
So, thank you.
But you mentioned the Barrow Group in New York.
Yes.
And so when I first moved to New York,
How old were you?
I was 25,
Wow.
and didn't know
So
anybody.
you're out of college and you're thinking, now
I'm just
what?
going to try it. I was just like, I'm just going to try acting because I love it and I'm young, so I'll just see what happens. And
But it really wasn't the focus in college.
it was not the focus in college.
So you get out of college, you go, the hell with that.
No, I did study at a school in Virginia for a couple years acting because I wanted to try it out.
Right.
And then I went to New York. My very first theater production was Shakespeare in the Parking Lot,
In the parking lot, I read that, yeah.
where we did Tammy of the Shrew in a parking lot in the East Village. And then I studied at this group, I won't say who, but I studied with this person, the Meisner technique, which I love the technique, but it was...
Turned out it was Steve Meisner.
right, oh, crap.
Slightly different.
Dang it, all of this time. But it was a class, even though I did learn some things, I felt like it was very fear-based. There was, the teacher had quite an ego, and everybody was kind of walking on eggshells around him. And with acting and kind of starting out in Miser, you've really got to have a safe space to learn that stuff. And we were all just so freaked out that we were going to upset him or we were doing it wrong. And so I didn't have that great of an experience. And then after that is when I met the Barrow Group.
Right.
And it really taught me just the play of it, you know, and just kind of losing the performance of it, you know. And so that's what I always credit as kind of really where I just began to have fun with it.
Were you auditioning for theater jobs?
I was off Broadway stuff.
Well, in the parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. All the way to the parking lot. But mainly, really, I did a ton of jobs. Cater waitering was probably the big job that I did. I did temp work, but
I did temp work a lot too.
in New York, and I would temp at these advertising agencies, these huge advertising agencies, and I'd be like an assistant to an executive. And I don't know if it's because I'm not a great multitasker, but you know, they would ask me to do filing, and I'd be filing, and then they would say, "Oh, can you do this?" And there was a part of me that was like, "I have to finish filing before you ask me to do something else," you know, because I just couldn't. I couldn't spend too many plates. But then I found cater waitering, and I loved it. I loved it. I think it was flexible. It was we would set up these crazy parties, and then you just pass out. You don't really have to deal with the people. You just kind of passed out the same food, and then it was all a bunch of actors. I remember we did an opening of the Philharmonic once, and there was this dessert that we were passing out that had this beautiful chocolate thing in the middle, and on the outside of the plate it was a score of a piece of music that they were playing in chocolate.
Oh no!
And I just remember being like, "This is crazy," and I passed it out to these really, enormously sophisticated, wealthy people, and they would just like dig into the dessert. And there's a part of me that was like, "What are you doing?" Oh my, because it was just a different. It was beautiful. It was a different level that you were dealing with,
Right.
And of course, at the end of the night, when the food was in the back, we would do the same thing. We'd just be like, "Oh."
Yes, but you weren't in tuxedos.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you were, they were rented, not owned.
But it was just that was a gig that I loved. I loved it.
yeah.
And then I started doing commercials and stuff.
I want to hear about the commercials also, and then the auditioning of them. But first, this word from Stamps.com. Yeah, Stamps.com is an approved and licensed vendor of the U.S. Postal Service. 400,000 subscribers with over 2 billion letters and packages have already been sent. If you have a computer and a printer, you can now do everything from the post office at home with Stamps.com. Print postage and then drop it in the mailbox, give it to the postal worker, or click one button and schedule a free pickup. Imagine the time you'll save not having to go to the post office ever again. That's what I love about this product, by the way. I got one. There's no expensive postage meter, no long-term commitments. You pay monthly if you want. You check it out. $15.99 per month plus postage. That's it. Special discounts you won't find at the post office. All your postage needs now at Stamps.com, not just stamps. That's the thing that I had to wrap my brain around. So people go to the post office because they don't know how much something weighs, a package or what have you. When I have to send out the wonderful merch from this show, you want yourself a Kevin Pollak Chat Show t-shirt? I've got to deal with the envelopes and the thing in the post office. It's annoying as hell. The digital scale that you'll receive is free with this special offer. And it will connect you to your computer and tell you exactly how much you need to properly mail everything. Right now, Stamps.com has a special offer for my fans only. No risk, 4-week trial. It's a $110 bonus offer. Use my name, Kevin, Kevin. Stamps.com will give you a free digital scale that calculates the exact postage you need and up to $55 free postage. This is my call to action. I use Stamps.com, and it's incredible. And I was very happy when they wanted to be a sponsor on the show because I felt like, I want sponsors for the show, but I also want it to be something that I can use and actually talk about. And even if a half chimp like me can do this, I think you'll have an easy time of it with Stamps.com. Go check them out, and remember to use the promotion code Kevin at Stamps.com. Click on the radio mic. Oh, yeah. Click on the radio mic at the top of the page and then hit Kevin. Type in Kevin. We have 3 sponsors, and it's unbelievably cool because we've been doing the show 3.5 years now. And there are big gaps of like over a year where there wasn't a real salesperson to help set these things up, and now suddenly there are 3.
Oh, that's great.
And it's fantastic for the show. I just hope it's not too painful for you as a guest.
No, it's fine.
Because you support the show in your own way. You listen, you watch, you send checks on occasion. I just wanted you to know they're appreciated.
Good.
A lot of commercial auditions.
A lot.
I went on a couple. I did one national spot where it was during the reign of Bob Uecker for the Miller Lite. Was it Miller Lite that Bob Uecker was doing?
It would have to be. He's
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
I'm in the front row, that run of commercials. So I get one where they put me in prosthetic makeup so that I can be another Bob Uecker at the bar with the thing, except no imitation. Ooh, terrible. But I just remember going on these commercial auditions and thinking, I'm not right for any of this. What was your experience? Because you did quite a few of them.
Yeah, that was...
And one rather famous one, of course, that I'm sure you get asked about all the time.
Yeah, I did the Volkswagen. Yeah, that was really, really fun. So when I was cater waitering and kind of doing off-Broadway theater, I started doing commercials, and then over time, the more you book, then you're able to kind of let the side jobs go a little more. And then probably my last 4 years of being in New York is when I was able to live off commercials, which was such a gift.
It's astounding.
It was really a gift, and I mean, but it's a weird reality in the sense that you walk into a room and all these guys look and act exactly like you because you're all the same type.
The people that you're auditioning against.
Yeah, people you're auditioning against, and also it's a weird. I mean, again, I'm so thankful for it, but you're not really making. What I like about kind of doing shows and stuff, you're not really making relationships with people because you do a job and then it's over for the day.
See you never.
And you might see each other at auditions, but there's not really a consistency of kind of relationship building. But I did that for 4 years, and thankfully, I know a lot of people probably have to do commercials that are kind of maybe boring or, kind of mechanical. Mine were really fun. Like, I enjoyed doing them. It was fun just being the goofy guy and, wide-eyed, like, I don't know what I'm doing, that kind of a guy. So it was just a fun. I enjoyed it.
And the Volkswagen one.
And the Volkswagen one
took on a life of its own a little bit.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it was the guy who directed it. Actually, Phil Morrison directed that movie. Why am I blanking on the movie?
Sammy, look it up. Phil Morrison.
It was. Anyways, I'm just totally blanking on this movie. It was the one that. This is where my memory kicks in, which sucks. Amy Adams was in it. Anyways, I'll think of it.
Junebug.
Junebug, yes, thank you. And
it's the movie that made Amy Adams.
Yes, and
Coming Out Party.
And he directed this Volkswagen ad, and it was just really fun. Like the whole concept was I was a guy in a car who was losing my mind and listening to Mr. Roboto, and they thought it was going to be between Mr. Roboto or Amadeus, that song, and losing my mind and. It was just a really fun spot. And the thing was a very simple idea that the car had kind of sealed where you could go crazy. This is
no, not at all.
But anyway, so it was just really fun, and he directed it, and it was cool.
Right.
Very
and
cool.
so is it the move west that is about getting work in television?
Well, in 2003, 10 days, no wait, sorry. In 2003, I met my wife, and I'm sorry, 2002 we met, and then in 2003 we got
married,
engaged. Well, we got engaged, and then 10 days. Okay, so I'm in New York, and it took me about 6 or 7 years to find TV and film representation. It was very difficult. While in New York, it was very difficult to find that kind of representation because when they saw you as a commercial actor, they didn't see you anything beyond that.
Right.
And so it was really tough to find the representation. And finally I got someone to introduce me to a manager, and I started working with them. And with them is where the audition for Arrested Development came along. And
while you were in New York?
While I was in New York.
Oh, right.
And when you kind of read for things in New York and you're sending yourself on tape, you don't have a lot of expectation that it's going to do anything. You just I was kind of excited about the experience to go out for something other than commercials. And so you just kind of forgot about it. Even in the back of my head, I was like, oh, this would be fantastic. And so, but I just got engaged, so we were kind of in wedding planning mode. And then, they flew me out to LA, And that alone was like, what? What, you
Did
want
they
to
fly you out for a callback?
for a callback?
Oh my.
And the whole time you're just like, what?
How
Like,
is
this
this
is
possible?
nuts. And I was trying to get my head around that, like, what's happening here? And then trying to keep your anxiety at a decent level, you know, because you're shitting
Because you
your
want to
pants.
share that information, but everyone you share it with immediately starts acting like you have the job.
Exactly. Yeah.
Flying to California, well, you got the job.
Exactly. I mean, my family's like, they're paying you? They're flying you? Oh my God. You know, so you know, it's hard to kind of keep expectations low. And also I loved the project, you know, just the idea. And so I was just kind of trying to keep cool. And
Had they sent you just scenes or the whole script?
they had just sent me, and I think I read the script. I think they sent out the script. And Ron Howard obviously was associated with it. And
Yeah.
so, you know, I was really excited, but trying to keep my expectation at bay, and went in for the call. And as you guys know, when you go in for network, you know, there's just this group of big wigs that you're doing your stuff for, and
The worst.
and you have to kind of think globally and be like, this doesn't matter, this is meaningless, you know, just trying to not give it too much hype.
Right.
You know, all these people are going to die, we're going to die, like, just trying to have a really existential
This
thinking.
is all going to end in death.
It's death. So I'm not going to get nervous about it, you know, whatever. But anyway,
universe is expanding.
Exactly.
How
It's
could this
fine. It's
possibly
fine. I'm
matter?
this big. You know, it's like no big deal. So I auditioned and then booked the pilot, which was nuts.
Now,
Nuts.
did you find out about that before you went back home?
No, they kept me out there for the callbacks because there was a network read and then there was a studio read and then there was, you know, whether you booked it or not. And so I was staying at this hotel, and I think I checked in at my hotel twice, I think, because they didn't know if they wanted me. So I didn't know if I was going home. So that was its own emotional roller coaster. And then I guess they thought I looked like Jeffrey Tambor. Like, well, we hired Jeffrey, so this makes sense.
Got to have one of the kids look like him.
So then I booked it and we shot the pilot, and the whole time I was just kind of like,
Is this happening?
this is nuts. It's nuts.
And
you
so
know?
the first table read.
The first table read, again, I wasn't really in my body. I mean, I wasn't really present. I was the whole time trying to look cool.
Well,
but
see,
like,
that's the thing I'm glad you're sharing, which is, how do I look like I belong?
oh yeah, I mean, and also, I mean, there's a whole other side of that, of being on Arrested Development. I have a huge lesson that I learned with that, and I'll share with you.
Please, since we're here.
Since we're here. But I think a big lesson that I learned with Arrested, even though, well, I'll wrap this up quickly. So I booked the pilot, and then...
You're doing good. Don't wrap up anything.
Okay, so anyways, 10 days before I got married, the show got picked up, and we moved out to LA, which was, again, like, what? Wait,
10 days.
10 days before I got married, the show got picked up, and we're going to LA. And so it was just, the whole experience was nuts.
Yeah.
And just really exciting. But to go back to kind of the lesson I learned was, I think I loved being on Arrested Development. I mean, the writing was crazy, all this kind of stuff. But I remember in the fall of the first season, I remember, I won't say depressed, but I went through kind of a disappointment because my whole time in New York, I put so much, I mean, all I ever wanted was a sitcom. Like, that's all I ever dreamed about.
You thought
know?
you had a natural gift for that.
Yeah, I was just like that, because I was a fan of Tim Conway and Bob Newhart, and just like, I just grew up on these people. So all I ever wanted, and my time in New York doing commercials, and even though I had a great time, I was always like, that sitcom's coming.
Yeah.
And every time pilot season would go by, I'd just be like, damn it, I missed pilot season again. You know, I knew. So
I don't have an agent or a manager, but I missed
what's
pilot
going-
season
Yeah,
again.
exactly. How do I get in that? Anyway, so when I booked Arrested Development and I was working, I remember going through a time of disappointment because nothing can match that expectation that you place on it.
At some point, it becomes anticlimactic.
At some point it does, and it really taught me this, not to sound like Oprah here, but it taught me this big lesson of, if you don't practice contentment where you're at, you're not going to be content when you get what you want.
Right.
And it's like all that time in New York that I was so looking towards that thing coming, I wish, trying not to have regrets, but I should have just like been a little more present,
Yeah.
you know, because then it makes whatever's coming that much better.
Yeah. Killing out there.
God, these Oprah lessons are killing.
Yeah. This is why she's worth $1 billion a
Exactly.
year, because she can create this kind of laughter with her heart.
But oh my God, that's it.
Yeah. You've been wasting all this time trying to be funny and doing wacky characters.
Damn it. I knew I
Some with
missed my
4
calling.
arms, some without.
That's
All
what
you
I
had to
should have
do
been
was open your heart to us, and we're on the floor and stitching.
Oh, fantastic.
No, but the truth is,
But it was a big
life
lesson for
alone creates a bit of a result-oriented instead of the journey.
It really does. It
And
really,
then this business is
Yeah.
even more.
Yeah, and it really taught me that. And granted, I think contentment is a discipline. I think it's something that we have to practice because, especially in our business, it's so gig to gig.
Yeah.
It's tough to be present.
Right.
But ever since that experience, it probably wasn't until the 3rd season of the show that I began to relax a little bit and try to enjoy myself. And ever since then, it's been like really try to be the discipline. I'm going to make the most out of this.
Right.
And not look to these things coming. And it could be anything. It could be people wanting to have a baby or like wanting to have this or this. Like that's coming. But it's like, if you don't make the most of this, you're not going to get it when you get that.
Right.
You're always going to, because I mean, we've all met film actors that want to be doing theater. Then I've met theater actors who want to be doing television. Then I meet TV actors who want to, it's like nobody's really present. Which again, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying,
it's discipline. You're right.
it's good to be aware of it because I received what I would call my dream, and it was a wake-up call for me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. And quite frankly, it took 149 shows for someone to articulate this part of the business, honestly. This has not been talked about, but it is. Well, we talk about the big picture version, which is enjoy the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
But in terms of one's personal journey and how it actually applies,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty great that you're sharing it.
Well, and it's also a business that breeds fear. I mean,
Fear, self-loathing,
absolutely.
doubt, all of that.
And we're also in a very unique business that, for the most of the nation, you go on job interviews for 2 or 3 months and you get a job for 4 or 5, 2 for 3 years, whatever. We're in a business where you're on a job interview for 2 or 3 years, and you're lucky if you get a 2 or 3 month gig. Right. That's a good gig.
It's an amazing gig. Yeah.
So we're living in a life where we don't know how long I've got to stretch this money of this gig I just got. Right. I don't know what's coming. So I need to practice being present, or I'm always just going to be like, is it? And which is, to be completely candid, has fostered a lot of past anxiety in my life.
Sure.
And it hit a point where it was like, okay, I gotta wake up to this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the hardest thing.
Sorry, I made it so heavy.
I can't believe that last part didn't get the big laugh.
Just like,
weird.
oh my God.
This is what I look for on the show, honestly. These are the moments
To be honest with you, it's rather refreshing to not just hear about, we had so much fun on the set, but rather how difficult it was to find a place during that job of a lifetime.
Sure.
To actually go, wait a second.
And also being at the Emmys, being at the Golden Globes, and being like, why am I not feeling this like I thought I would be feeling? Why am I not
How
doing
is this not the greatest thing ever?
Exactly.
Because I'm worried about what it's going to lead to.
I mean, granted, there is a reality to it of that behind the curtain. It is what it is. Like, it's not, it's not Oz.
There's not a balloon drop every day?
Exactly. But there's also, like, I had put a crap load of expectation on it.
Right.
And that's what I woke up to.
If I could just get this, everything will be all right.
Everything
And then the moment you get that, if I could just get that, everything's really going to be all right.
Exactly.
And it never stops.
It never, ever stops. And you see it all over Hall of Hollywood. And I mean, other cast members of Arrested will probably tell you, the whole first 2 seasons, I was pretty serious. Like, I was really like,
Tony?
yeah,
Why
like
don't you
it
lighten
was
up?
really tight. Yeah, exactly. Really pretty tightly wound.
See how the rest of us are laughing a lot while we're working?
But I was pretty tightly wound, and then, it just over time you just kind of, hopefully, I've gained more of a kind of a relaxed. I'm going to enjoy this.
So by the time you got to Veep, do you think?
It's a blast.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, and granted, not that it doesn't have its own realities to it.
Because you're shooting in Baltimore.
Yeah. I actually love Baltimore.
I do too. Did O'Bricky's go away? The great place for crab?
Oh, I might. Again, you're touching on the memory, so I don't know.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't tap into that.
Now, you said you were familiar with the Tweet 5, and now it's time for your very own. We're going to offer up a Tweet 5. There's Dave Keckner.
T5 forever now.
T5, sir. This one comes
I love
from,
you guys have
from
matching
your,
hats.
Right? They come from your fans,
It's
specifically
Kevin
written
Bond's hat
for you.
Yeah.
You know how this works. It's this or that, Coke or Pepsi, no correct answer. This was from @SketchEWhite. Will Ferrell or Jason Bateman?
Oh.
No, they're not fair.
Okay. Well, I will say my wife would like me to, because she worked on SNL for 8 years as a makeup artist, so I'm going to say Will Ferrell.
We should put a sound effect for a ding, because that is a correct answer. Thank you. Rubber hand or claw?
Claw.
I guess not the right
Oh,
answer.
dang it. Shoot.
The goods or the informant?
The Informant.
Space camp or bowling?
Space Camp.
Polka or chicken dance?
Polka.
Has anyone in this family ever seen a chicken? How many times did Jamie and I say that?
And Buster was, Buster I don't think had a chicken dance because he was very offended by the whole, he liked chickens. Don't piss off his chickens. He didn't want, no one could match the brilliance of a chicken.
When you read that in the script, you must just think, oh man.
Well, what's so great about that is I love that they felt the freedom to go there.
Right.
That they didn't put restrictions on their, thinking thoughts. I can't think of the right word, but they didn't put edits on that.
Yeah.
And they allowed them to say, hey, what about a chicken dance? You know what? What about a seal with a bow tie biting off his hand? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Right on.
You'd like to think that sort of stuff comes from cabin fever or sheer boredom. But
Right.
no, it actually comes from genius.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from, well, let's do something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It comes from, how can
And
we...
freedom, I think, that you
And
give
freedom.
yourself
Yeah.
to not...
And know that the actors are fearless. You can throw anything at them, because that's not always the case for the
Sure.
Mitch Hurwitz of the world.
Yeah, sure. He really... And also the great thing about Mitch, one of many things, is when something wasn't working on set, we didn't really even want to improv because we knew that he was going to come down with a nugget that we'd be like, well, can't top that.
Yeah, because a lot of people think so much of the chemistry on the show was improvised through dialogue. And through the dossier, a lot of times it seemed like you were saying, well, we had the freedom, and occasionally we would try to top what he had written by improvising, and we always fell short.
Yeah, always
I thought that
fell
was
short.
pretty spectacular.
And you're dealing with people like David Cross and who are just awesome improvers.
Yeah.
But Mitch would just say this something and we'd be like, well, I'm shutting up.
Right.
Yeah.
You probably want to hear more about the GoDaddy.com
Please.
sponsorship.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, right.
I've been waiting.
I think-
put a lot of expectation on that.
I think we need to pare back the sponsors to a show. Because I have another one after this. GoDaddy.com. They have an amazing offer for you, the fans of the chat show. Get all your .com needs for only $5.99. Yes, if you're going to get a new domain name or you want to set up a new email address, what have you, the place to go is GoDaddy.com. It's easy, it's affordable, it's the name you know and trust. It's the one that I use, damn it. And isn't that all that matters these days? Hey, where does Kev go to register his .coms? Well, I'll tell you. It's GoDaddy.com. If you need a website, fan blog, your son's Little League team, fantasy football, or you're just looking for a website for the kids, it's 21st century, people. Go to GoDaddy.com. Some people actually get them for their pets. I know it seems strange. Did you know, for example, that Tony Hale is a talented son of a bitch.com is available?
Wow.
Because it is.
Really?
So is Kevin Pollak is a tool.com. GoDaddy.com is the most popular, the most recognized. Go there for a limited time. Fans of this show can use a secret code and pay only $5.99 for a new .com name. That's right, only $5.99 for your new domain registration. Just click directly to their site, type in the code Kevin599, coinciding with the $5.99 special. Kevin599. And if you want to click through our homepage here at kevinpollackchatcher.com or thisweekend.com, use the promo code CHAT599. From GoDaddy.com, type in Kevin599. From our site, Chat599. To spend a scant $5.99 to register a new .com today. GoDaddy.com. Do it now, you son of a bitch. I love when the fans ask things. And then I want to talk a little bit about The Informant, because I loved that movie. And I've only had a few people here, I think Joel McHale being one, talking about the experience of working with Soderbergh, who's a true individual in filmmaking, which is the hardest thing. This is from I Am von Stroheim, although I doubt it. That's what his Twitter handle is. Soderbergh or Howard?
Oh, God, you guys are giving hard
This
ones.
is not from us. It's from your fans.
Oh, crappers. I'll have to say Soderbergh because I haven't really been directed by Howard. He just produced it.
That's the ding we're looking for the correct
great.
answer. The roof falling in. Buy more or Best Buy?
Buy more.
Selena Meyer or Elaine Bennis?
Selena.
Of course. What are we talking
Are you
about?
kidding? My character worships her.
Come on now. Job or Copperfield?
Copperfield?
I meant Copperfield.
He's not coming on the show now. He said,
I know,
"Fuck
right?
you." He just called right now and was like, "Can't even pronounce my name."
Then we're going to say Job.
Yeah, we got to say Job. And Fox or Netflix? Well, now we know the answer to that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about. Actually, let's talk about Veep, because holy crap,
It's really fun.
it seems like the most enjoyable sandbox.
Oh, I love that you said sandbox. I love that you said sandbox because I was telling somebody the other day that I was talking to a group of students and they were talking about how what do you like in a director?
Right.
And I said, you know what I appreciate in a director is like if you go up to a kid and you show them a big field and you say go play, and they're like but if you show them a sandbox and you give them parameters, they'll go crazy.
Wow.
And I feel like we as actors, as much as we like freedom, we like our parameters. We
Yes.
like to know what your vision is, what you want from this,
Right.
and then we can play.
Right.
And that was the exact case in Veep because everybody was in tuned with Armando Iannucci's vision for the show and also known his work. And he just knew exactly what he wanted. And in that was just a huge sandbox just to play and go and not feel like you're going to be judged.
Yeah.
You know, and of course Julia, who plays Selena Meyer, is obviously, you know, is incredibly comedically gifted, but also just an incredibly normal person and a big team player.
Right.
You know, so it just really fostered this just fun environment.
Yeah. Well, you guys are also sharing the sort of reinventing your own new characters after being known from past television shows.
Mm-hmm.
She's been maybe one of the more successful people at having a few different series and having their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
But this chance for her seems like heaven on earth.
Yeah, and I've told her this. I've told her this once before that I have such admiration for her because not only does she do the comedy obviously so well, she carries the authority of the vice president.
Right.
Which I believe. Like when I watch it, I'm like, I believe that she's the vice president of the
Right.
United States, and I think that's difficult. I think that's difficult to carry that, and she does it very well.
She also gives a different line reading every time she asks,
Yeah.
did the president call? I don't know how.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's running gags that every
Right.
show at some point she's going to ask,
Right,
did
right.
the president call? And the answer is always no.
And I do love this. I think I've said this a lot, but I get so excited about the show because, especially in this election year,
Yeah.
a lot of posturing, a lot of kind of perfect sound bites.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a real freedom to be like, these people have to lose their minds behind the scene.
Right.
You know, you can't contain that much pressure and that much criticism and that much of a race without going behind the scenes and going, I'm about to lose it. You know, I'm about to lose my mind. I've got to tell somebody.
Right. But there's also that wonderful, quiet desperation of an office that doesn't really need to be there.
Oh, God, none of us. I think we just read the book, the Dummies book, and then we jumped in.
But starting with the head of the snake.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
VP doesn't need to be there.
Exactly.
I mean, it starts with, did the president call? No.
Yeah, no.
And then the entire team is made up of
Yeah, idiots.
seven different versions of, we don't need to be here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And desperately afraid they're going to lose their job.
Right. Well, that's the wonderful thing the show captures beautifully. That is, I think, relatable to everyone.
Yeah.
Throughout life.
And I love Selena, like, she'll be having a big political discussion, but then something will be brought up about her being on the cover of Vogue, and she's like, oh. Yeah, I mean, that's what excites her the most.
Right.
She just wants to be on the cover of a magazine.
Right. Yeah. And your character has a utility belt, unlike Batman,
Yeah.
where everything and anything comes out of it
Yeah.
on a moment's notice.
Yeah.
So far, the most surprising thing you think that's come out of
A stool that she stands
metal-
on. A metal stool that
Right.
that raises her up for when she speaks.
That came out of the bag
Yeah,
that you
it
carry
does.
with you.
It's like a clown bag.
Yeah.
And I love that he's got 60 different pockets in that bag, and he knows exactly where everything is.
Well, there was one great
yeah,
moment
yeah.
in a recent episode where you were actually given a little bit of a pop quiz. And you had to reach in without looking,
Yeah.
of course, and just, they asked for the item first and you'd pull it out?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You knew exactly where it
I knew
was.
exactly where it was without looking. And I just whipped it out. And I massively succeeded.
Yeah. That was pretty spectacular. And
he
also
will-
think about your dad while being at the
Oh, bless
stadium
him.
was
The
incredible.
Photoshop.
Bless him, yeah. And it's like, he wanted so bad to be a baseball player. And he's saying like, and it's not even that. I mean, he's probably going home saying, I'm working in the vice president's office, but he doesn't know anything about politics. No, he knows what size Spanx she wears. I mean, that's where he's detailed. He knows crazy facts about people.
Right.
Talk about a memory. Like, he remembers everything.
Well, there is that great moment, and it's been written about, but I'd love to hear a couple of words where she's basically at the end of a receiving line, and you have to give her quick little stats on each person as they arrive, and then she has to say the very perfect thing to that person as she greets them. That seemed like an improv game, actually. And I know Julie has tremendous improv background.
And that was fun because we saw kind of the lineup that they chose, and some of it was written, but we were able to go off to the side and say, what if that person, was a triathlete or something, and they're 80 years old?
Did you get to a point where you were just throwing stuff at her that she didn't know what you were going to say?
No, we
Then your performances are even that much greater because that's ultimately how it looks. Like you were, as an actor, trying to trip her up, and her as an actress was topping it.
And I love that I had the idea. I think someone's brother was in Rage Against the Machine, and that gave her nothing because she had no clue about that. Like, who the hell is that? But I was thrilled about that.
You thought that would be helpful to mention.
Yeah. I mean, he just, anything.
And then, of course, he'll do anything for her, including taking a bullet. But thankfully, that bullet comes in the form of a sneeze.
Yeah, but to him, my God, that's like,
dives in
that's
front
a
of
sniper.
her to stop a sneeze. Because it was a life-threatening illness that was going around.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
I got it.
It wasn't just
my
any
character
sneeze.
got it.
Yes, you did.
And I will say, though, wouldn't it be nice, you having the memory that I have, how nice would that be to have somebody in your ear just telling you names alone? I'm good. I don't know if you're like this. I'm great with faces.
Yes.
I will remember faces from 10 years ago.
No idea what the name is.
No clue what the name is. Or anything about them.
I don't know if you suffer from this. I probably mentioned it at some point during the show. Here's why I don't remember people's names. Now, let's act out the moment where you and I meet for the first time, and you tell me your name, which is the moment that I'm supposed to be absorbing that information.
Yeah, sure.
And I'll say out loud what's going on in my brain.
Yeah, okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Kevin, Sam, why don't you introduce us?
Oh, Tony, this is Kevin. Kevin, Tony.
Hey, it's nice to meet you.
Your name, I'm sorry?
Tony.
Say something funny.
Oh, I have to say something
So
funny?
that's what I'm thinking while you say your name.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm not listening. I'm thinking, damn, they got a good hairline.
Well,
That's a good full head of hair.
I'm with you there.
And I'll focus on all this random stuff. Yeah. You're like, wow, it's got great coloring.
Right.
And then why won't I focus on the thing that actually will mean something to them?
The name.
The name.
Sure, that would be helpful.
Nope. Just narcissistically thinking, damn, I wish I had that hair.
Yeah, and me putting pressure on myself. Say something funny. As they're saying their name.
Hey, I'm Tony. Wow, dude, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then of course you're like, not funny. So I'm not going to remember your name.
Oh no! I'm not making it clear. While you're saying your name, I am telling myself
I
to
see.
say something funny.
Oh,
that's why I'm
see,
not
yes.
present.
Oh yes,
I'm beating myself up in my brain.
Yes.
Be clever.
Yes.
Be clever. I'm saying to myself.
That is a very, very good point.
Right? Do you suffer from that?
Excuse me, especially when you meet somebody that you admire.
Yes, that's the word.
I mean, you obviously already probably know their name, but with anybody, since I'm a people pleaser, I'm like, I want them to like me, I want them to like me, so I'm going to think about how to get them to like me and forget probably the most important thing, their name.
Yes, of course.
You know.
We bring up an interesting topic, and gear up, Sammy, because you're flying in here soon for Who Tweeted. But some of the perks of being on a successful show, a show that people within the industry especially go nuts for, which you're now 2 for 2, I would think. A couple of the people you've met along the way that have come up and said, I'm a fan of the show and you thought, I can't believe that
Who are they?
President Obama is talking to me?
That was yesterday.
Because you guys had actually a special
We did.
tour of
we
the
didn't
White
meet,
House.
We didn't meet Obama. No,
I
but
think he avoided you.
exactly. Not going to go near that. Who have I met? Again, let's touch that memory.
Do you just see pictures of yourself when you try to remember things?
Exactly. There's my headshot. There's my headshot.
There I am.
Who is it? You know, I think it's always. I can't remember. I knew that people liked it, obviously.
Right.
But I think I'm always surprised.
Like when you went to award shows, you know the show was
Exactly.
nominated a lot. When you go to
Exactly.
SAG Awards, you guys were nominated Best
Exactly.
Ensemble a couple of years in a row,
Yes.
and you'd see other actors there, and some of them would come up to you.
Can't
Some of
remember-
them by the name
Can't
of.
remember one. Can't remember one. But I do. Probably I was sitting there the whole time going, "What the hell am I doing here?"
Yeah.
It's that imposter theory. My wife talks about that because she worked on SNL for so many years. And she would talk about that a lot of actors, and it's true, there's an imposter theory that I'm going to be figured out.
Yes.
And somebody's going to drag me off the set.
Oh, I.
You know, like, and
talk
across
about it
the
a lot.
board,
Yeah.
across the board, everybody thinks that.
I'm waiting for the first 2 weeks of every job ever.
So probably at that award show, I'm like, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to set up the party, serve the food, and then take the party down.
Right. By the way, that sound, I doubt they can hear it through the microphones, but we can certainly hear it here in the studio. The hammering,
Bigfoot?
the pounding.
Yeah.
No, that's sealing up the exits.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was my headache.
Oh God.
Before we get to Sammy, let's take care of our lovely friends at the Mangrate.com, and then we're going to play Who Tweeted Mangrate. Father's Day, there is only one perfect gift. We're going to wish our guest today a wonderful Father's Day. It's next Sunday, folks.
Oh, yay.
That perfect gift, the Mangrate Grill Enhancement System. What's a Mangrate, you ask? Mangrate, 100% made in America cast iron grilling grates. These heavy-duty grilling grates deliver exactly what you need to achieve that steakhouse flavor that you've been looking for. With Mangrate's patented design, chicken, steak, or veggies will have never tasted so good. No more flare-ups, you son of a bitch. No more dry meat. Guaranteed. Take advantage of our $20 Kevin Pollak's Chat Show special today by clicking on the Mangrate banner at the KevinPollak'sChatShow.com site, our homepage. As a bonus, every KevinPollak'sChatShow.com order comes with a heavy-duty Mangrate grilling brush. Don't laugh when I say that. This grilling brush is beautiful. 100% made in America, 100% cast iron, 100% steak quality grilling in your very own backyard. $20 Kevin Pollak's Chat Show special. Click on the Mangrate banner at the KevinPollak'sChatShow.com homepage to order today. Thank you, Mangrate.com, for your sponsorship of this show.
And you said you weren't good at commercials. I think you're very good at commercials.
Thank you. This one brought to you by TonyHale.com. Tony Hale, honestly and truly, folks, do ask fans of the show how they can support us, since this goes up on the iTunes and the Hulu.com free. Go to any of these sites, click on, get yourself something, please. For example, if you're on your way to Amazon.com, we've got a banner on our home site homepage. Click through there, it'll take you an extra 4 seconds, and they'll send us 14 cents. You're on the Twitter, at Mr. Tony Hale.
Yes.
I enjoy following you for the one every 16-week times that you tweet something.
I know. I get so stressed about it. I don't know. I think I think about it too hard.
Too much pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a warm-up for you that I find works well.
Okay.
If you follow a couple of funny people, and I have to assume you do,
I do.
just retweet a couple of funny things that they say.
See, here's the thing. Having a part of it is, I love my iPhone.
Sure.
I love it. But I'm on the iPhone so much that having a 6-year-old, I have to really be careful about that. Because I think this generation could probably grow up thinking like this was our parents.
Yeah.
And it's
What
like,
does your dad do? This?
Yeah, this. And that's a part of the reason why because I could just, there's so much that I could spend time on that thing.
Well, listen.
Because the fact is it's entertaining. It's very entertaining. It's funny. And so I don't look at Twitter a lot because I know that I'll just be like this because it's some funny stuff. So I think what I need to do probably is set a time during the day where I can say, this is a time where I can look at Twitter and
Here's what I see happening, or as I visualize what you just suggested. You say to your daughter, "This is Daddy's time." What did I say?
this is Twitter time.
From 2 to 3, I'm on Twitter. You got toys? No, I think you get a lifetime pass from Twitter when you actually have a life.
But I think it's very informative. It really is. But I think having
And don't forget,
a 6-year-old though.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I think it's.
If I didn't have a 6-year-old, I'd be totally into it.
I think it's pretty great because this is also the first time I'm hearing that it's a generational thing where you don't want your kids to be looking up. It used to be when I was a kid, you look up when your parent had a cocktail in their hand. You thought, well, that's clearly what Daddy does.
I mean, they had their ways of medicating.
Yeah, right.
But I will
But Twitter's one of them. That's one of the ways that
just
people
the
medicate.
phone. I mean, email, it's so accessible. And many times, where was I? I've seen a lot of kids being a dad with a child. A lot of kids will be doing something and go, Dad, look. Look. And it's like, I see these kind of parents like having to.
Used to be from the TV, they'd have to get them to
Yeah,
look.
exactly.
Now it's
exactly. Which I get it. I mean, I do it
Did
too.
she love Disneyland? I forgot to ask. Have you taken her?
Yeah, we have. We went to Legoland last week, though.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, it was awesome.
She loved it?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And you liked it too.
I did.
Yeah.
I really did.
Your favorite part?
They have a new water park, which in the past 2 years, which is really fun. And I think her favorite part was, I loved that. Her favorite part was you can actually drive your own car, and then you can also do your own little boat. And she loved having that control. Didn't want us to go on with her. Wanted to do it herself.
Wow. Her favorite part of Disneyland?
This interview is fascinating. Do you love Disneyland, Jamie?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. What's your favorite part?
The Haunted Mansion's my favorite attraction.
Oh. Is that the one where you're kind of in a scooped car?
A doom buggy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. Did she, your daughter, express that she had a favorite part of Disneyland?
She does. She loves the princess part. And she loves Dumbo. When she was younger, we would always do the Dumbo.
Right.
And there's also there's like a younger roller coaster that they can do that's not so Space Mountain. It's like a
Gadget's
younger
Go
version.
Coaster
Yes, and she loves that.
in Toontown.
Yeah.
It's based off the Rescue Rangers animated series.
Golly, she's good. I do love Space Mountain. Do you like Space Mountain?
I'm more of a Big Thunder Mountain Railroad fan.
But don't you think that's a little rickety?
I like that.
Oh,
though.
it's rickety. That's what she likes.
That's what I like, and I like the theming of it better. But I do, of course, I love Space
There are
Mountain.
times
but
when
I'm
you
a
really
bigger
think
fan.
your head's coming off.
My thing with
Thunder
Space Mountain is, as soon as that music starts from the 80s, I can't stop laughing. The entire ride, I am howling with laughter while being technically afraid.
Yeah.
But at the same time, because of
Yeah.
that ridiculous music,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. It's like, what's happening on this stupid lame-ass ride?
That's true.
It's time to play the game that's sweeping the nation. Who tweeted?
Who tweeted? Oh, I'm excited about this.
Right? Sammy, are you going to tell us what the hell you're laughing at?
Have so much to say. Who tweeted?
I'm gonna screw this up since oh shoot.
No.
You're fine.
You're good.
I'm gonna screw this up because I came into this excited about this game, thinking that I would be good at it, and we'll see.
It's very different playing here than it is playing at home.
I know.
You said you've watched the show or listened to it,
I have.
and you thought of other guests thinking, what's the matter with you? How did you not
How
get
did
that?
you not get that was Tyra? How did you
Right.
not get that
Well,
was Paris?
So
We're
then
gonna
you
put that
seem
to-
to know.
But here's the deal. Because of that, I've set myself up.
So you know the rules, so Sammy doesn't need to
You know
go
the
through
rules,
the
right?
rules.
I don't have to go through the spiel. Tyra, Paris, Bieber.
Bieber.
And-
Oh, I thought it was Demi.
Now it's Bieber.
Now it's
It's been
Bieber.
Bieber for some time.
Oh shoot.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Don't reprimand.
No, not like that. I'm just saying, it's not. I don't want to think we switched it up
No,
just for
I'm
him.
glad. I'm glad.
Yeah,
You
we're
know.
good.
Yes, it's Tyra, Paris, or Bieber.
Okay.
And a series of 8. At any point when you feel like you know it, you say your name. I'll point to you. You have 3 seconds to say Tyra, Paris, Bieber. You
Okay.
ring and you get it right, you get 5 points. You ring and you get it wrong, you lose 3.
And do I just say it?
You just say your name.
Okay.
Smack the table if you want to be like everyone.
Yeah.
Now the series of 8 threw me off. The
I'm reading a total of 8 tweets.
total of 8. Okay, so not all. Okay, I don't have 8
Right.
chances
One
for
at a
one.
time.
Got it. Okay, got it.
And of course,
Oh my! Holy schmackles!
Yes.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
We're playing for a not-so-dancing Andrew.
time for that.
This is Vegas.
And before I forget, I just want to talk about this. When I see young children now, it's not mommy, daddy, look at this. It's mommy, daddy, iPad.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And it is probably fascinating
awful.
that babies now are so attuned to the touch screen. That's what's fun. There's no tactile. It's all swipe. That's what's fascinating.
We are raising a generation that will not know how to do anything that isn't this.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be touching the big TV.
Yeah.
Thinking that it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right.
All right, here we go.
Number
Oh my gosh,
one.
I'm nervous now.
Good luck.
Oh, I'm thanks.
Don't stress. Don't cry. We don't need no wings to fly. Just take my hand.
Kevin, Tyra.
Shit. Bieber.
Okay. Let me stress the rules one more time. When you ring in, I'll point you. You get 3 seconds. Now, as it turns out, it was Justin Bieber, but instead of getting the 5 points,
Shite.
Kevin's going to lose 3.
Because I rung in
'Cause he
first
rang in
and
first.
said Tyra incorrectly.
I'm so sorry.
That's quite all right, sir.
So
All right,
don't-
I
don't-
forgot to look at Kenny because he can often give me the correct answer.
Oh well. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's all right. It's all right. We're off to a good start. You've got 3 points.
All right.
You're good.
He didn't
don't-
get 3 points.
I didn't get-
Technically.
you lost 3.
He's up. Nothing
up
to,
3 points.
Nothing to -3.
Tweet number 2.
Yes.
Good friends are hard to find.
Kevin, Tyra.
You are up 6 points now.
Oh,
You
man.
are
Wait, so
killing
do I
this
not get a
game.
shot?
If you buzz in,
Oh shit.
If I stop yelling,
Wait.
Kevin, Tyra,
Yeah.
you can.
you can buzz in
can.
anytime you feel
I
like
can,
you know
and when
it.
I go buzz, what would I
Just say your name.
Just say your name. Got
Say
it.
your name.
God, you're throwing me off with the buzzword.
Sorry.
Okay.
Tweet number 3. My puppies look so chic in their Mercedes Benz.
Tony Paris.
That is correct.
You knew that. You gave me that one, didn't you?
That
No.
is
Oh, you. I think you did.
No.
tweet. He does not throw
I'm
this.
laughing because Jamie's drinking a regular Coca-Cola.
Oh wow.
You must have a brain fry or something.
Somebody's ADD is kicking in.
It's funny because I just mentioned that in the chat room. I was like, I'm really tired for some reason. So then I'm drinking regular Coke, which I never do because I don't really care for regular Coke.
No,
and
you
I
don't.
never drink.
And
regular
love that
you're
sponsor.
also the
Yeah.
most excited person about our guest today that I've ever seen.
But also, she's drinking
I've
Coke.
been
So so boring today. I am
How
not matching.
dare you.
I'm not matching any expectations.
No,
That's not
sir.
true at all. That's
Whatsoever.
not it. No, it's. I
just
went
kidding.
drinking last night. That's what. That's what. Let it go. It's nothing to do with you.
someone was a little hammered.
And then
You
I
were
came.
saying?
Tweet number 4.
Tweet number 4.
Pimple or mosquito on my face. Itches, then hurts. Oh, so very confused. And hell no, no twit pick.
Tony Bieber. Oh shoot.
Sorry.
That was Tyra, finally.
It's all right. You're still wildly.
Was that Tyra, finally?
That was Tyra finally. It's all right. It's a 2 to -6 over here. You're
It was an
doing great.
8-point swing.
Yep. Here we go. Tweet
Don't
number
even know what that
5.
means.
When we get to Mexico, it is going to be crazy.
Tony Bieber.
That is correct.
Ah!
Oh, destroying you, Pollock. This is embarrassing.
Got to get
Tweet
one right.
Number 6. It's so important to give back. Makes me feel so happy.
Kevin
Tony
Paris.
Shit. Oh, you did it first.
Judges, we're going to need a ruling on that.
It's him.
You roll
It's him.
playback?
He did it first.
And your answer was? You said Paris? You both said Paris. That is correct.
Oh, I finally got one right.
All right. Well, it's
still up by
getting
8.
on the wire here. Tweet number 7.
You're up by 8. I've got to get them both.
Since when do almonds have boobies?
Tony Bieber.
Why are you so confident?
I don't think it's right because I think he's too all-American that he might not have said that. He might have been afraid he would insult somebody.
Technically, he's all Canadian.
Technically, he's Canadian.
Oh.
But he's
And,
very squeaky.
Was it Bieber?
Tyrone.
Yeah. He's too like clean.
Well, actually, as Canadian, he's too all-American 1968.
Well, let me tell you what we got going on right here. We got a score of
5-point spread.
5-point spread. So here's what it comes down to.
My hands are sweating.
Are you going to tell him how he can't lose? Is that what's about to happen?
I'm just going to let him know what's going on.
Okay.
Just going to let him know what's going on. So keeping in mind, if Kevin rings in and gets this question correct, we will have a tie score.
Okay.
You ring in and you get it wrong, you're going to have you're going to lose 3 and have +1. Kevin's got -1 right now. Just keeping that in mind as we go on to the 8th and final.
Wait a second. If he rings in and gets it wrong,
That's right.
he wins.
That's right.
If he rings in and gets it right, he wins. So once again, you're putting out to the guest, all he has to do is ring in to win.
Oh!
La la la.
I didn't realize that was what had happened. But why don't you just ring in as soon as I get to the first grade? You got a 50-50 chance.
Ready?
Or a 33% chance.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Kevin! I'm sorry, you have to speak first.
Okay.
Kevin!
I literally jumped at that one.
That was closer.
Don't be embarrassed at Heidi Klum.
Kevin! See, now Tony's giving me a chance to hang myself. Don't be embarrassed by Heidi Klum.
Don't be embarrassed at Heidi Klum.
Okay, I gotta go with Tyra. She got me to the dance, and she's gonna take me home. Just go ahead and tell me, Sam. That is +5. We are all tied up at +4.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We have a winner.
your winner, Tony Hale!
Yes. Wait, what was the full tweet? What was the full
Don't be
tweet?
embarrassed at Heidi Klum. You make me nervous and sweaty too. Justin Bieber.
Oh, Justin Bieber's going after a cougar.
That's right.
That
Well, you
doesn't make
heard
sense, though.
she's
Don't be
splitting up.
embarrassed at Heidi, that you like Heidi Klum.
No. At is the Twitter handle.
Oh.
That's her name.
again, Twitter lingo.
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But get yourself 20
Hey.
right there. And that is how you play Who Tweeted.
Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you, Sammy. That was, thank you very much.
Now we'll just do 2 more ad reads,
Celebrities
and then
have
we'll
so
talk
much to
about
say.
the no, I'm kidding.
Tweet it.
Let's talk
Is
about
the
the
game
informant,
that we
please.
just played.
Give me a little on-set experience of working with someone like Steven Soderbergh, who I am mesmerized by his work,
Yeah.
and have a little bit of a clue what it was like to work with him from a couple of past guests, but I'd love to hear your take on.
Yeah, I think, well, first off, let me say that when I got the call that I got the movie, another one of those, what? Where?
Are you sure?
Come on. You know, it was definitely, I couldn't believe it at all.
Are you okay with water, by the way?
I'm great.
Okay.
Thank you for asking. Nice craft.
Not expecting that.
This really got fancy.
Let's put it right there.
Okay. Now I can't stop staring at it.
Yeah, think about something else.
Okay. Soderbergh really watered it down. No.
Nice.
He
Such a craft, that guy.
okay, the thing about Soderbergh is, I just so appreciate that his movies are so different.
Right.
So you never know what you're going to get, which I love. And also, what I'm known at the time, what I was known for was Arrested Development. It was a little bit after that, but that was definitely the thing. And it's not like somebody's going to go, you know who should play a lawyer in my movie? Buster Bluth. You know, it's not
Byron
Byron
Bluth.
Buster Bluth. You know, so that he took a chance, which I appreciate. You know, and
He
it was
filled the film with funny people, though.
filled the film
Playing
with funny
serious
people
parts.
playing serious parts. But I think that you know sometimes you don't know what you're going to get with that. And anyway, so I got the movie, and it was one of those experiences that, as a director, I think what kills anything in the creative process is ego and a sense of entitlement. It makes everybody walk on eggshells, and it sucks all the creative energy out of the room.
It brings you back to that acting coach.
It brings you back to that acting coach, and everybody's just so freaked out. There's no freedom to think. There's no freedom to play or anything like that. And Soderbergh is one of those directors that is so relaxed. You just kind of you have that freedom, and also I think, you know, at one point I was talking to him, but he has the presence to invite you to talk to him. Right. He doesn't have that presence like, I'm going to sit behind Video Village.
Don't come near me.
You do your thing, you know, which is fear-based, is insecurity-based.
Yes.
And he's a confident enough man that he allows that freedom to continue. And I have huge admiration for that.
He shot the
And
film himself, as he often does, but he was actually camera
yeah,
operator.
I think at times he was, yeah. But it's one of those things that I didn't have a very big part, but the times on there, you just treasured it. I was like, what a great experience,
Right.
you know, and just to be in that environment again.
And could you believe what a prick Matt Damon was?
Oh, God, douchebag.
Now, did he sing in the car when you guys went out to
He
lunch?
did. He took us out to lunch, and he sang, weirdly, some Liza Minnelli tunes.
Good one, Sammy.
He
Took
did.
you 94 minutes.
You know, I
more
like to bide
present.
my time. Bide
He
my
did.
time.
He did. He likes the Broadway.
And he did the band, the orchestration
did the
as well.
band. He did.
Jabba, jabba!
In a
back
black
seat.
sequin suit, which is odd. But yeah, again, the normality of people like that are just very normal, you know. And I think, and especially in this business, or people also outside this business, they put these people on such high pedestals.
We can't help it.
You can't help it, yeah, because of the media. And then you meet them, and they're just normal people.
If you had come in here today,
I was on a really high
looking
pedestal.
like if you've seen the trailers for Rock of Ages, if you came in here today looking like Tom Cruise's character, I would have been, all right, that's fine, I'll give him a pass. Yeah. He's got a big cowboy hat on and a fur vest.
Yeah. However, there's a lot of work I mean, for people that like, not him, but for that type of person that character's about, there's a lot of work that goes into that.
Right.
You know, that's what I find fascinating. It's like, they carry that ego.
They act like they don't care.
But there's a lot of work that goes into that. There's a lot of thinking of, should I do the skinny jean or should I do the pink skinny jean? You know, it's like, there's a lot of work there.
Right.
Which kind of tells you something.
How hungover should I appear?
Exactly. Should I do my eyes like this or like this? You know,
Have I had one hair of the dog or 6?
And which is kind of based in how do I want these people to perceive me?
Yeah.
What void do I have in my life that I feel like I need that positive perception?
You mentioned Tim
That's
Conway.
gotten really Oprah again. I apologize.
Now you get very meta.
True, though. You mentioned Tim Conway and a couple of others. As
Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart as inspirations. Those were vastly different talents. One was sort of an original voice in the stand-up comedy world that then became instantly loved as a TV character. But very, very one note. And while the other one, while that one note was of its time truly original and incredible.
Very original.
And then you've got Tim Conway, who was capable of wearing any mask.
In the physical comedy. You know what? Honestly, and I don't actually see them that different. I think there was a through line between them, that they had such control over their comedy,
over their instrument,
and over their instinct.
Yeah.
They were able to, especially. I mean, I think of the Carol Burnett show. Just he was able to give a look.
Yeah.
Or a movement, and Bob Newhart was able to just stand there and stare, and there was true power in that. That swayed the audience and made them laugh.
Right.
There was no pushing of the comedy.
Do you find that there's been opportunities where you felt like, ooh, I hit that beat, or I took my time? I
hope, and I think because it involves risk,
right?
Where you're risking to just sit there.
Because I see these little nuances. I was raised on Mad Magazine, and it was the little tiny things in the sidebar comedy drawings. That always the attention to that kind of detail. The little asides from Bob Hope under his breath were the things that I latched onto as a viewer. I see that in your work, and I'm enjoying it now in Veep as well, where you have your character has its own life going on, even in the background. Is that constantly on your mind and in your thoughts? Because that's the way it appears as an audience member. That
Yeah, I'm glad that you said. That's very nice to say. I just know as a human being that I get such joy out of any throwaway.
Right.
I get such joy out of seeing somebody kind of talking to somebody, and then them actually doing an expression off where they're hoping they're not being seen.
Right.
You know, or
private moment.
Exactly. Or like they're talking to someone and they walk away and you see this. You know, like that is amazing.
You get a chance to see their inner thoughts.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what is just
the camera
fun.
Catching a private moment from a person is that wonderful side.
And the thing about Armando that took some getting used to, he doesn't, I think a lot of times there's a setup of the joke, but not even like an obvious setup of the joke, even in kind of some documentary style kind of things. You know the beat where the joke's hitting. Someone will be giving, quote, the punchline or the button of the scene, and the camera is just passing by.
Right.
So you might not catch it. And as an actor, you're like, that didn't pay off like it could, but why does it need to pay off so much? Because life, you don't have a camera that pays off everything. Yeah. You know, so I love that it's really just this kind of, you might get it, you might not.
It works magically.
I hope so, yeah.
The scenes aren't about where's the button.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, the scenes are about there's 7 different funny plates being spun. Which one do you want to watch?
Which I will say, like, as a comic actor, you've been doing it for a long time as well, you get very used to that button.
Yeah.
You get very used to, okay, we got to close this scene.
Right.
We got to do this. And you kind of got to let that go, which is challenging.
Yeah.
You know.
He's British?
Yes.
And so you guys went over to London to rehearse for a little while.
We did.
How amazingly cool was that?
So cool.
As one of those weird little subplots of being in show business.
So cool.
Tony is your agent or manager. Yeah, he's going to need you to go over to London for what, a couple of weeks, was it?
Yeah, a couple weeks to rehearse.
To rehearse.
Which
no pressure, no cameras, just you and the cast fucking off, having meals.
Yep.
Going to pubs.
Free meals, which always excites me.
Horrible.
And again, it's one of the things that when in television do you get the chance to rehearse? You never rehearse. I mean, you get your script and then you shoot that day.
Now, is there a part of you that says or has the thought you'd like to share, which is, I'm sorry, HBO can't pay me enough, but they can fly us all over to London and put us up and feed us for a couple of weeks? What's happening?
It's one of those things. Like they are, they were very kind with.
I'm sorry, I've asked you to bite a hand that perhaps you shouldn't.
No. But I think it's kind of to be honest, I relate it to when Arrested was canceled. I think there was a lot of kind of like, why are they canceling this? It's so good. And the fact is, they gave us 53 episodes. Our ratings were never good. Our ratings were never good. They didn't have to give us 53 episodes.
Right.
They
could have
kept
been
us on.
13 and done.
And it's like, when this is a new show, they gave us 2 weeks rehearsal in London. Like, that's
remarkable.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
So it really.
And that happened before the show even came on.
Is this before the pilot?
This is, no, this was
Between
after
pilot
between
and
pilot and series.
Now, wasn't there a gap? Wasn't there a significant amount of time? Because wasn't the pilot? I mean, we were talking about this. I remember reading for that in like November of 2010, right?
Yeah, we read for it a while back, and then it didn't air until spring of 2012.
Yeah.
So there definitely was a gap, but there wasn't any. Not to say that there's a huge amount of buzz, but there was no buzz. There was no nothing, and then they gave us 2 weeks rehearsal, put us up in London, like. That says a faith and a trust that I appreciate, for Armando.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The show was great.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I hope it runs longer than you want. I hope it becomes a burden. And so it's 13 when you come back?
We did 8, and we're doing 10 next year.
10 next year.
Yeah.
And you start up, you think, with the Arrested Development, clearly in the fall sometime.
Well, we shoot in Baltimore, so that would be challenging. I'm thinking it's going to be sometime this summer.
For Arrested Development. Mm-hmm. Right.
And just to, get together with those guys, and I'm just so thankful for, we're always thankful for gigs, but I'm really thankful to get back together with those guys.
Yeah, and also to be able to do these 2 shows simultaneously.
Yeah. And also, I mean, again, so what a gift. It is a gift. But then, there's always time in between, like, because people always say, Tony, you've made such good choices. And I always kind of laugh at that. I'm like,
well, you have to laugh.
I'm an actor.
Yeah.
Like, I have a mortgage. I say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if something else would have come along and that wasn't there, I mean, I probably would have said, because it's work.
I've been talking about this more and more, working on the book and whatnot, but it is the one bizarre aspect to our chosen profession that we're actually not allowed to work for a paycheck. It's the only profession that is held up to this ridicule of expectations where we're not allowed to just work. We have to be very picky and choosy. Why did you do this?
Yeah.
What other profession does
have
that
you seen
happen
my child?
Yeah.
And I've got to pay for
I just saw the pumpernickel bagel that went to a customer before me. Why would you make a bagel like that?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got a sign out front that says Noah's Bagels. I'm expecting a certain level of bagel.
And then on top of that also, I mean, unless you're doing a sci-fi movie of the week, I think most actors go in with the best intention of having a good end product.
What's wrong with the sci-fi movie of the week? I just booked one. Why would you say that exactly?
Sharktopus 2?
Sharktopus.
Hey, The Lost Room is really popular.
It is really popular. I did a miniseries for the Sci-Fi Network, and people go crazy for it. And then some people try to be snarky and say, really?
But I will say, at the end of your life, do you want to, and not to turn into Oprah again, but do you want to, I would like to know that I made the most of every opportunity given to me, rather than not having worked because I was too picky and too judgmental on things.
Don't treat your career like a porcelain egg. The truth of the matter is,
yeah.
never apologize for look.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no
there's times-
correct way
yeah.
to do this.
Yeah, and there are times when you feel like that gut, like I don't really at this time want to do that. Like that's understandable, you know. But I think you got to watch the judgment and the hierarchy that you put on jobs sometimes.
Forget it.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah.
And as part of your new mandate, to embrace and be present.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, here's my other little nugget.
Please.
I think one other thing is learning that kind of thing, that our identity is not on this business.
No.
You know, you, Kevin Pollak, have tremendous value outside of this show.
I'll say.
You know, and you do. You do. However, I think but I think as performers, we can really base our identity on what we do and and it's like, I have value outside of this, and that's also something to remember.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes.
You get to a certain
I'm getting
point.
really
No.
chicken soup for the soul now.
But
it's true.
If you're fortunate enough, you get to a certain point where people will acknowledge a body of work as opposed to specific choices. You know what I mean?
choice,
They'll
but also
start to
even
say,
more acknowledge you
That's exactly
for who
right.
you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Outside the work.
Outside the work, exactly. Because that's life.
Yeah.
I'm writing a devotional that you guys can read in the morning.
What's the
called
name of
Chicken Soup by Tony.
Chicken soup with Tony.
Chicken Soup with Tony.
Chicken soup on Tony.
I just got a text from Oprah.
Oh my gosh.
She said,
Shut the
Tony
hell
Hale, shut the hell up.
That's
You're
my
stealing-
bit.
You're
Dang
stealing my bit. Yeah.
I knew it. We knew it. She's pissed.
Now, if you are indeed a fan of the show, and I can't believe we didn't get to talk about Stacked, you know that at some point you're going to have to stare down that lens and do your Larry King
come
game.
on.
No,
I was
no,
hoping that this would.
What?
Who do you think you are, Eddie Izzard?
I do.
No.
I do. Oh,
No free
thank
pass
God.
for you.
I can't believe also we didn't talk about working with the magic that is Jeremy Piven. Damn it.
Oh, man.
So many things we missed.
So many things.
Happy anniversary from a couple of weeks late. Also?
Yes. Oh, good call. May
Uh-huh.
24th.
Uh-huh. And
9 years. 9 years married.
No, it's wildly impressive.
Well, she's amazing. She's amazing.
You're
Puts
very
up with me.
You're a very lucky man.
I am.
Let's be honest. I'm not sure what's in it for her.
Not a lot.
All right, so you ready for your Larry King game? You ready to? I will tell folks that the season finale of Veep again tonight. If you're watching this live, if not, check it out on the HBO. They'll rerun it, I'm sure, throughout the week. And
HBO
HBO Go, of course. Pull it up. I highly recommend this series to one and all.
I'm literally racking my brain. As
Yeah,
to the
and
Larry
I've
King
literally
thing.
stalled all I can. I don't normally do this.
Doesn't
kind
he
of
wear glasses?
wrap up. You won't be able to see much
That's okay.
beyond your hand.
I'm trying to think what I'm saying. Okay. I gotta get it. All right, do I just go?
Perfect. Just
Okay.
go.
My shoulders will exist when I die.
Go to the phone.
Go to the phone. Talk to my shoulders after you die.
Is that good?
The name of the city.
And the name of this city is Poughkeepsie.
Thank you. Perfect.
Thank you.
Tony Hale, ladies and Jews, put your paws together.
That was fun. You're really good at what you do, Kevin.
Well, it's only...
You're really good outside of this, by the way.
Thank you. I don't need this
You don't need this. You don't need that. You have value.
to define me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can have chicken soup on Tony Hale's head.
$5 on Amazon.
Thank you, honestly and sincerely. And I
No,
look
thank
forward to watching more Veep and more Arrested Development. And congratulations on these two incredible jobs.
Yep. Exactly.
And on your wonderful home life and
Thank you.
and family.
Thank you
Good,
very
good
much.
picking.
Good
picking on those shows.
Yeah. You make
Exactly.
great choices.
You make great choices.
Okay.
in life too.
Great, thank you.
And to not do this in your daughter's face.
Or this.
Yeah. But if you taught her to do this,
No. No. We don't have an iPad. I guess that's coming with that.
yeah. Just say to your daughter one time, if you have anything to say to me, start with it.
It is kind of weird when you do see a 2-year-old immediately go. Like, I mean, just like it's
pinching?
Yeah, it's just so a part of them now.
Have you been to a Hollywood party where it's a family gathering kind of thing with their kids around, and you hear a 7-year-old say, "I hear your dad's film opened kind of soft."
Please don't tell me you heard that though. Shut up. Are you serious?
7-year-old.
No, you're lying.
Heard your dad's movie open kind of soft. Kind of soft. Kind of soft.
Wow, he knows the lingo. I actually heard
Not didn't open well. Using the word open, freaky enough. Open kind of soft.
That
Now you know and I asked
I gotta say that hurts. That actually hurts.
I asked a studio exec at the poker game about this, and he said they just hear their parents talk. It's no different than any other profession. However your parents are talking, they want to emulate that in conversation. And
I heard a
that's
kid walk into someone's trailer and said this, goes, "Why is your trailer so small?"
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And that was the kind of thing where you go, all right, well, that's a painful future coming up.
Yes.
That's some high expectations.
Also, you know that kid's going to get smacked, and you don't want to see that. Kind of a question. Humiliate your parents?
Why is your trailer so small?
Yeah, why don't you shut your face, midget?
But like, wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
I just took a drink and there was no water.
Oh, man, and I had a
We would never have known. We would never have known.
All right, we got to wrap things up so my guests can get something to drink, and we can head home to very, very sad season finales.
Oh, yes.
All right.
That's right. This is a big night, Mad Men. That's
Big
right.
night for TV.
That's right.
And the Veep.
And the Veep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations to you, Kevin.
And thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, sit there uncomfortably while I wrap things up.
Great.
Thanks again to our guest, Tony Hale. If you want to check us out on the iTunes or the Hulu.com, let us know how you watch the show. Write to us at contact@kevinpollak'schatshow.com. Also want to thank Elaine Ewing, our social media maven, also helping with the post on the Hulu.com. Dr. Kenny Chen here in the studio. Sam and Jamie outside there. We've got Justin, Jason, and Josh. The 3 J's, all non-Jews. Well, a quarter. We got a quarter Jew out there. Helping today with the makeup in Samantha's absence was Harry Potter's mother.
Oh my gosh.
Judy something.
Mrs. Radcliffe?
I didn't catch her last name.
You didn't catch Judy's last name?
Judy the Brit. From Australia also.
Well, she may be with us again next week, so maybe we should memorize.
I feel like I gave you
Her
plenty of
last name
information.
is Lovely.
Is it?
It is. It's Lovely.
Oh, I thought you were saying you enjoyed her last name.
No, it's literally, it's Lovely.
Judy Lovely. We could have done
Judy
it on
Lovely.
first. Lovely. And thank you to Judy Lovely as well. And I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. Nope. All right, next week we have Dan Harmon, he who created the wonderful show on NBC called Community, and also helped co-create, I believe, the Sarah Silverman show on the Comedy Central when that was a thing. Can't wait to talk to him. Tremendous talent. And look forward to seeing all of you there again at home. Speaking of creators and television people, the Phil Rosenthal will be here July 1st, our first show in the month of July.
Fantastic.
Look forward to seeing you all there, and or just listening to us is fine too. Feel free to go to the iTunes and write a review. We much appreciate that sort of support as well. Until next time, and as always, get out of my face.